everybody, what's up? Ben Valina here, Watch, Learn, Code. Today I'm going to be going over taking an RSS feed and converting it to JSON and then using that information to populate some type of feed display onto your personal website. So you can either link to someone's information, create an application, anything. So I run a website called BlizzFront. And with BlizzFront, I was getting sick of going to 10 different websites to find out the top information, like the newest thing that came out overnight. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to take that information, make my own website, make it mobile friendly, because none of these websites are mobile friendly. And then I can come on, open up my phone and see, okay, this is the newest information that happened overnight. And then just browse through it quickly and then click next. So I had things like certain things from Blizzard Watch or Icy Veins, Wowhead, the top Twitch streams, pulling in all kinds of different information, and it's all being done with RSS feeds and JSON or certain APIs from these programs. One of the ways I do it is going to, let's say you're going to World of Warcraft's website, and we're going to use this as our example today, and we want to pull the latest information from their news feed. Well, they do have an RSS available. You come here and it's displayed. So it's just a bunch of stuff right now. It looks very unorganized and it's like, how can I work with this? What can I do? Well, I'm going to show you. So this is what we're going to be working with. We're going to be working with World of Warcraft's front page feed. And just before you guys dive into this, this is more of an advanced course. You could say it's intermediate depending on your knowledge. You're going to want to know PHP, you're going to want to know HTML, CSS, basic stuff like that. And also I'm going to be using a little bit of bootstrap just to wrap the items in. So let's get started. What we're going to do is we want to open up our text editor. Here I have a basic page within BlizzFront, and I will go to it here. So here is our basic page with our template we're going to be working with. Nothing here. We have BlizzFront demo, and you can see that here in our text editor. So I have these variables set up, and what they do is they point to my header, which in here I can do stuff like my meta description, my meta keywords, my page title for every one of my pages. And this is kind of how I run BlizzFront. So if I have a new page, I can type in what's going to pop up on the main header. So demo, can't type today. This is a demo, and then my meta description if I wanted meta keywords, and then my active tab if I'm going to do anything with an active tab, like PHP if $active tab is equal to, demo, then do this. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. That's just basic PHP stuff. If you're into PHP and you know what you're doing, then you know what's going on here. Otherwise, you can sit back and learn. So first of all, I want to grab my feed. So I need to go and I need to grab that feed from World of Warcraft. So I'm going to come to the RSS feed, and then I'm going to grab this feed here, the URL to it. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go over to my text editor, and I'm going to say URL. Sorry, my bad. PHP, opening closing brackets here. I'm going to say some variable for URL, and I'm going to paste my URL in there. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to get the contents from that URL. So I'm going to say get contents is equal to file get contents, and in here I'm going to pass URL, my URL with the feed. So now I've grabbed the URL and I've grabbed the contents from within that URL. Next, I'm going to take and I'm going to convert the XML to an object, so I can work with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the simple XML function from PHP, and I'm going to say simple XML load string, and then I'm going to grab the get contents. So now I have converted it to an object to work with. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take those contents, that simple XML, and we're going to encode it with JSON. And there might be a better way to do this. I'm not an expert in this, and there's 10,000 different ways to do it. And if you see a better way to do it, let me know, and we'll go from there. I'm not going to be caching the information here right now. I'm just kind of showing you how to do this. So we're going to say JSON. We're going to say JSON encode, and we're going to grab the simple XML the variable we've created, and then for the results, what we're going to do is we're going to say results is equal to JSON, not encode, but decode, and we're going to say JSON, our variable up from the encoded JSON, and we're going to pass it value true. So now we've grabbed the URL, we've grabbed the contents from within the URL, we have converted the XML string to an object, we've encoded it with JSON, and then we've decoded it with JSON to grab the results. Now we have a bunch of information. So now if we go back to our web page here and we refresh it, nothing's going to happen. There's no information you can see. But if we go the route of echo, we're going to do, this is how I show information, because I'll show you real quick here. If we were just to print our results, you can kind of see what happens here. Refresh the page. Okay, so it's all in white right now, but you can see it's just a bunch of arrays and information. It's like, oh, how do I work with this? Oh my gosh. So what you're gonna want to do is you kind of want to clean it up a little bit. And the way I do this is I go here, and before I print, I want to echo out a HTML pre tag. So now what this is gonna do, we refresh, it's gonna take our arrays and it's gonna print it out nice and clean so we can see what we're working with here. So we can go through here and we can look and see our information. We can see everything's kind of within the entry array. So we have like it starts at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes on forever. There's so much information to work with. So you kind of got to target what you want to work with. So we can see here's a title, okay, 6.2 patch notes. We come back to the World of Warcraft page, 6.2 patch notes, May 13th. The description, when it was posted, and we can see all that stuff right here. So now we need to figure out how we want to work with that information. So first of all, what I want to do, I want to start pulling information out. So I want to come back into our text editor, and I want to start making a page that is appealing to everybody so people can look at the information. So what I'm going to do is I am going to create a row with, this is where Bootstrap comes into play. So in Bootstrap, if anyone's used it, a row is kind of just like a horizontal divider. It has its clears in there. There's a bunch of stuff in the back end that it's just, there's predetermined styles made by Twitter Bootstrap. So we have a row, and then what I want to do is inside of here, I'm going to start pasting our code. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to throw it in here, and from now everything I do is going to be echoed out through PHP in a loop. So first of all, I want to set up a loop. So I'm going to use a for each loop. And so here what I want to say is I want to say we want to grab our results. So we're going to say results, and then we know that the starting information here, we have the starting array is called entry, and this is going to be the array that houses all the information we want to grab from every portion of this JSON data. So we're going to come back into here, and we're going to say results. So the results, and we're going to say entry as let's name this one K. So now we have the starting array is just called K, so we can refer to that, and it's super easy. What I'm going to do first is I'm just going to echo out a div with a class of, let's say, call SM 12. Echo closing div. In here, what I want to do first of all, I want to display the title. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my array I have here, and I'm looking for the name of the title, which is just title. And this is kind of universal for all types of RSS feeds. It's usually going to be title or link or published or pub date, summary, description. It's all kind of the same. Sometimes some things different. You just have to look at your information, what you're working with. If it doesn't work, it's not going to work. Then you got to kind of research it. That's why I always like to keep these two handy. So if I'm not using them, I'm gonna comment them out. And if I need to go back and look, I'll really quick uncomment them and go back and check. So I want to display the title. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna take these and I'm gonna make these 4. So it'll be 3 across. 4 times 3 is 12. So I'm gonna echo out. Let's say H4. We'll do H4. And then we're going to do and in here we're going to say K and then title. Okay, so now when we come back into our program, let me first real quick comment these guys out so they don't show a bunch of information. Now when we come back in and we refresh our page, I should probably make everything real quick in here a darker color. So I'm going to say in this row, just real quick, inline style, don't crucify me, color. Okay, so we come back in here, refresh it, you see. So now we have all the titles that are displaying. And we're looping through every title from this feed, and we're spitting it out. And the way Bootstrap's displaying it is it's taking columns. So you have columns of 4, but 4 times 3 equals 12 because it's a 12 column grid system. So you got 4, 8, 12, and then it loops down. So we could do stuff. We could style these a little later on. And just to make it easier, what I'm going to do is instead of doing this, I'll do class demo, and then I'll just come up here. Do demo, and do call SM4. Do background C2, and then also color 0. So refresh it, and then also I want to give this margin 10 pixels. Now actually we'll do a border solid 4 pixels, so just a white border, give it that separation look, and then maybe we'll do a little bit of padding on here of 14 pixels just to kind of space things out. Okay, so now they're separated a little bit more, and you can kind of tell what's going on. This one's a little bit longer than that one. That's why you're going to have to mess with the CSS styles. And we're not really doing that today. I'm kind of just showing you how to grab this information and work with it. So now you've got your titles displayed, and they're going to work responsively. And you can upload this website, use it on your phone. So next we want to grab a description, or a little bit of content that kind of describes what's going on so we can see it on our phone. So what we do there is we're going to go back to our information. I am going to uncomment these guys. and we're going to see what the description is called. So we come here and we see that within here we're jumping into the summary array, and then we're going to see that it is called div. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to come back into our code, and we're going to say echo, and what I'm going to do is do a paragraph, like that, paragraph, and then I'm going to say K, and then jumping into the summary array, and then I'm going to want to grab the div, because that was a description, and that's what the key was for the description. So now when I come back up here, before I go jump in to see what it looks like, I'm going to uncomment these guys, and then come over here, refresh the page, and now we got our title and we got our blurb here, if that's what you want to call it. So you can see the first one, 6.2 patch notes, May 13th, with a description, matches this. Awesome. We're making progress. All right, next we want to create the date and time. So what we're going to do is we're going to look and see, you kind of seen that this is a repeating pattern. Just once you get the hang of it, you can come back and find information. You can manipulate it and use it how you want to. So what we're going to look and see that this article was published, and we're going to use the key here, published, on this date. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in here, and we're going to, under the title, we're going to echo out, and we'll use maybe small, and then we're going to use our K, and then this one was called published. So now if we come back, refresh it, so now here's our published, and it's not really how I want it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to make it italics and strong, bold. We're going to look. So now it's bolded, it's italicized, it's awesome. Also, I think I'm going to change this just to be 12 across, just work with this. And then change this to 12. So now they're just across rows, so we can see a little bit better. So we got our title, we have our date, and our description. So now we want to create a link that says read more. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back in here and see what the link is called. I'm pretty sure it's called link. And what I would recommend before you jump into this, find out what you want, create kind of like a key within your code, and set up things like, okay, so date is equal to published. And then you can just grab the stuff right there and keep, so you don't have to keep jumping back and forth. That's what I'd recommend doing. So we're going to use a link. And so you can see here, we jump into the link array, and then we're going to grab href. So what we're going to do is we also have to go through the attributes. There's some things you might have to jump through. We're going to come into our code, comment these out because we're done using these. And what I want to do is I want to wrap the title in a anchor that goes to the link, so people can click on the title too, other than a read more button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to say href is equal to, and then inside my href, what I want to do, I want to put single quotes, period, and then I'm going to say K, and I'm going to say link, because it's our link, and then we're going to jump back into attributes. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And then the final step was href. So now we have this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to say target is equal to underscore blank. So it opens in a new page, and then close it off. And then after this h4 title, we're going to echo out just a closing anchor tag. Awesome. So now when we come back here and we refresh the page, all of our titles are now links to that news article. So you can see the URL changing there at the bottom. So if I want to look at the 6.12 hotfixes for May 11th, click it, and it brings me right to the article. Slick. So now we've had that, and you can do, now if you want to put this at the end of the thing, you can just copy these guys here. And then after the paragraph, paste this in, change the H4 to P, and what we're going to say is in here, we can, instead of the K, we're just going to put read more, ... So now we come back here, refresh it. We have a read more button that does the same thing as the title. So now pretty much you have your information here. You can scroll through, oh, this is what happened. This happened at this crazy time, which is, I don't really like this. So what I want to do, I want to come back into I want to change the date format. So I'm going to come into my loop, and I'm just going to say my JSON date, let's make it this, is equal to K, and then published, which is the array, which is the item within the array that is the date, and we've covered that a little bit ago. And then what I'm going to do now is going to say new date is equal to date, and we're going to say month, day, year, hour, IA, and then we're going to say string time. We're going to say JSON date. Now, instead of where we have the thing published, the date published, we're going to say new date. So in here, we're going to take this and go to new date. And we're just going to grab the new information. We've taken that published date and we've converted it to a different display date. So when we come back here and we refresh it, it's May 14th, 2015 at 2:30 a.m. So that's a little bit easier to read than all that crazy format they had in there. So that's pretty much it. You can go back and you can go over the array for any type of RSS feed, and you can use Reddit's RSS feed, because I'm pretty sure if we went to Reddit wow.rss, it gives you the RSS feed for the most recent or the top posts in the Reddit feed. So you can use this for any type of Reddit feed. It's very useful. I use it for BlizzFront all the time. Go out, explore, have fun with it. If you have any questions, comment below, or else hit me up at blizzfront.com. Tell your friends, visit the site, use it. It's mobile friendly, and enjoy. I'll see you guys next time for another course.